Hi everyone, welcome here. If you're new here, my name is Rebecca. If you're not new here, welcome back. Thank you for coming back and watching another video. So in today's video, we're talking about one of the best ways to own less, and that is to have items that have multiple uses. So in today's video, I'm going to take you through just a few of my favorites. Let's dive right in. First up on the list is a Turkish towel. So if you're not familiar with a Turkish towel, it's a very thin, usually cotton towel, and I love to actually travel with my Turkish towel. So what's so great about it is that it is very thin, so it packs up really small and really nicely, but I find when I'm traveling, it has a lot of very handy uses. I like to use it as a sun covering. You can just drape it over your shoulders or almost like a scarf. I use it as a towel, like a beach towel, if I need to dry off after I've been swimming, something like that. You can also lay it down on the ground like a blanket, picnic blanket, or just clean up some messes with it. I never travel without it. It is one of the most handy multi-use items that I own. The Turkish towel I have is actually from SandCloud. I bought it several years ago, but if I can still find a link to it, I will link it in the description box down below. Second up is a conditioner bar. So I use a shampoo and conditioner bar from a company called Bar to wash and condition my hair, but I found that the conditioner bar comes in handy for more than just conditioning my hair. So I actually like to use a conditioner bar to shave with. It's really easy just to take the bar, rub it on my legs, lather up a little bit, and then it gives me a nice smooth shave because there is a very moisturizing quality to the conditioner bar that helps the razor glide really easily. So I love that it saves me from having to buy a different product in the shower. I can just use one product for both things. All right, next up is coconut oil. My goodness, what don't I use coconut oil for? I use it for so many things. I would say the primary way that I use coconut oil is as a moisturizer. I love to put it on my skin. I think it feels really good. I live in the desert, so it feels really hydrating and moisturizing to me. But I also love to use it in the kitchen. It's a great high heat oil. I also use it to take off mascara. I've used it in a cleaning solution before. I've used it in a face mask before. There are honestly so many uses for coconut oil. I like to use Dr. Bronner's coconut oil. It's organic, fair trade. They use regenerative farming practices. The Dr. Bronner's also comes in this amazing glass jar, which we love to clean out after we've used all of the oil and reuse, which actually brings us into our next one, which are glass jars. So we do have a few ball jars in our kitchen that we actually purchased, but for the most part, we save and upcycle almost every glass container that comes into our house. We don't have separate drinking glasses. We use all of our glass jars to drink out of. We use them to store produce and food. We use them to store leftovers. There's a lot of uses for them in the kitchen, but you can use them to store things anywhere in the house. I use a glass jar to store all of my hair ties and bobby pins, for instance. It saves us from having to have a lot of different things that serve different purposes, right? We don't necessarily need separate storage containers for food and separate drinking glasses and wine glasses. We just use one thing for all of that. Next up is a cleaning solution. So I used to buy separate cleaners for the bathroom and the floors and the countertops and windows and mirrors and all the things. Everything used to have its own specific type of cleaner. And now I just clean everything with three things: water, vinegar, and baking soda. I make a mixture of 1 part vinegar to 2 parts water. I put that in a spray bottle and I use that to clean almost anything that needs to be disinfected in the house. If I need a little bit of scrubbing action, I will use the baking soda. I like to use that in the sinks, the toilets, the shower, that kind of thing. And then I also use an e-cloth. If you're not familiar with an e-cloth, it is really good at trapping dirt and dust, and all you have to use with it is water. So I like to use that specifically for like windows and mirrors and that type of thing. And I found not only does this save space and time and save you from having to have lots of products that you then need to find a place for and organize, it also saves money. I buy vinegar in bulk. I buy a gallon at a time. I just find it's a lot more cost effective than buying specialty cleaners for every area of my house. Next up is my laptop. So I use my laptop as a computer, like most people do, but we also do not have a TV in our house. And that's by design for a few reasons. The first is we don't tend to watch that much TV. And the second is that a TV sort of sucks the energy out of the room, right? It's if one person wants to be watching the TV, it sort of takes over a lot of what's happening in that space. We have a very open concept house here, so to put a TV up on the wall sort of monopolizes what's going on in the entire house. So we also use the laptop as our television. If we are going to watch TV, using the laptop makes it feel like it's a much smaller and more confined space. It's big enough that we could watch together, but if one of us wants to watch and the other one doesn't, it's not sort of taking up the whole room and sort of projecting it up onto a wall. And like most other things, it just saves money. We didn't have to also buy a TV. Next up is furniture. We have a few pieces in our house that function both as like a side table, but also a place to sit. We do live in a pretty small house, so we don't have a lot of room for furniture, but also as minimalists, we don't want a lot of furniture in here. We like it sort of open and airy and spacious. So having furniture that can act as more than one thing is super helpful for us. So we have 2 tables in the living room that if we have more people, we can also use and pull up to the table as stools. And then our side tables in our bedroom too can also be moved into the living room as a place to sit as well. Last but not least is going to come as no surprise, but I have a certain love for my phone as a minimalist. Of course, most of us have a love-hate relationship with our phone, but what I love about my phone is how many tools it is in one. It's like a Swiss Army knife. I use my phone obviously for all the normal things, like as a phone and to search the internet and all those great things. But I also use it if I'm out in the world vlogging or filming anything. I will use that as my camera. I use it as a map. I use it as a scanner. I use it as a calculator. All the great things that a phone is. I'm very grateful that I don't need to have all of those items and that I can do that all with my phone. All right, that's it for my top multi-use items. When I'm trying to shop, one of the intentional things that I try and do is find something that has multi-uses. I will always opt for that as a minimalist over something that has a single use. I love to be able to save time and space, but most importantly, money on something that can do several things for me. Thank you so much for tuning into today's video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.